Good afternoon, everyone. So I was talking about my divorce and how it went. Like 2023 was a good year, but a bad year. In that my marriage ended of 21 years. Um, Good year because I got closer to God through it all. 2024 was hard. It was rough, but I made it through. With God by my side, there's nothing I couldn't do. And I'm telling you, like, I'm going to say when March came in that year, because I went to Kentucky with my sister and we had a really good time. It was so fun. I had never been to Kentucky before, but that was a whole free trip, y'all. The hotel was free, everything was free. I didn't have to pay for nothing, okay? And I said, God, you are doing the most because you know I needed to get out of town. You know I did. I don't care if it was just for a weekend. I told God I needed to go out of town, and then this trip popped up, and I was able to go. But it's funny how God answers your prayers like quickly, okay? And then my daughter moved out in March, and then that's when he told me he was getting him a place he had to do. He had to make sure he was good and he was taken care of. And I was like, but what about your kids? What about and it wasn't even about me. It was about your kids. They stay with me. They live with me. Like you didn't want to make sure they were good. And it just was sad on how and then he put the girl before his kids. He wouldn't see his kids. Only time he would really see his kids is when his family was having like a birthday party, Christmas, Thanksgiving, something like that. But on his own to just come and get his kids every other week and spend time with them, no. It dwindled down to like once a month, and oh, he couldn't go, he couldn't see him, or it was just some crap. It was crazy. And I never thought he was that person that would put somebody before his kids. But it is what it is. You can't dictate how people are, what they do. But he was so manipulative through it all, just trying to make them get close to her. And really everything he did was to get to me and upset me and just get a reaction out of me. You know what I'm saying? And when he told me that she was his girlfriend, how's she your girlfriend and you still married, dude? Like for real? And then he's like, I asked God for forgiveness. I repented. But you still living in sin. Like you still doing the same thing over and over again. So how is God supposed to even take you seriously at that point? So, like I said, everything he wanted to happen to me ended up happening to him. And he wanted me to lose the house. I didn't end up losing the house. The judge made him put the house in a status to where I could. And actually, the judge told him he better make sure he do what he needs to do with that house. So he put it in a status to where I could end up keeping the house. We didn't have to pay no mortgage or nothing. And so come August when the divorce was finalized, then we had to start paying like, 1,700 a month or whatever, however we was gonna do it. And God made me able to pay that. Like he wasn't trying to give me no money until the divorce took place. He wasn't trying to give me nothing. Like I didn't have anything to take care of the kids. Nothing. When I say I was tapped out and broke, like I didn't have it. Like after paying a $900 car note, paying insurance, like no, he paid the insurance. He paid the insurance until we got divorced. He did do that. And he paid the phone bill until we got divorced. Um, but that car payment took all my money. And then the bills took all my money. So it's like how I'm supposed to get food. But I was able to go down there and get food stamps. So God came through on that. I was able to get money here and there, taking care of my grandson, doing that. I got paid from that. Um, I did a lot to try to just stay on top. But God, like I said, God walked me through stuff I thought we people thought shouldn't be happening was happening. Like trying to figure out how I was keeping things done and keeping things going. It was God. It wasn't me. Cause I was crying. I was in tears. And God, I just kept through it all. I just kept hearing God say, "Be still and know that I am God. It ain't over until I say it's over." And I'm like, God, you, you, you. You something else, cause gotta wait till the last minute to come through for you. Like the last minute when you just at your wits end and you ready just to throw it all in and give up. Then God, all of a sudden, bam, He working it out. Cause when He worked out that with the house, when I found out that it was in a status where I didn't have to worry about no payment, no house payment. And then I was able to put the car in a status for 2 months where I didn't have to pay a car payment. And I was able to catch up on stuff and do stuff. Like, it was beautiful. I'm like, God, you are my father. Like, you do that. Oh man. And then June, July came, and it was just like I had fun because like I said, I kept busy. I stayed busy. I stayed doing something, going to church, working in the church, my friends having things, and me going to the get-togethers. It kept me busy. It kept my mind off of what was going on. You know, I didn't focus on that. I focused on my father. And I prayed, and when I went through, I cried, and I prayed some more. And I kept praying, and God kept talking to me. And then finally, when we went to court, we was able to go to court, and we ended up settling out of court, and he ended up having to back pay me. I think he back paid me for 2 months. Should have been way longer than that because he didn't pay me nothing for like 5 months, 6 months. But I was okay. God said, don't worry about it. I said, God, let your will be done, and God, let his will be done. And I got what he ended up paying me, having to pay me child support and alimony. It wasn't a lot, but it was better than nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm able to survive on it. And I'm doing good on it because God said, no matter what you get, I'm going to get you through. But that's my overflow because God said, I'm going to bring your money to you. So now I'm day trading. I done learned how to day trade, y'all. It's funny because God said everything in his time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning how to day trade, and I'm on here doing my videos. I mean, money, I don't have it like that, but I was able to take the 401k, pay off all my bills, y'all, I thought I wasn't going to have enough to get the house I wanted. I got a newer house than the house I was living in. Do you understand? God works things out. But let me tell you what happened. After the divorce, my pastor of my church took on my house. She's a realtor. She took on my house, put her name on the deed, on the deed of the loan or whatever, fixed up the house because we couldn't sell the house because the judge said I had to sell the house if I couldn't afford it, and I couldn't afford the house. So I tried to sell it, and the house wouldn't sell. No matter what we did, the house wouldn't sell. It had too much stuff wrong with it. So my pastor got on the deed, and I had found me a house to move my family into, but it would have I could have did it, but it would have messed me up, and God said, no, let that go. And I had to give up $800 because I had already put my money down and everything. And he said, that ain't where I want you anyway. That ain't what I got for you. You jumped into that. So I let that go. And I stayed in the house another probably 6 months because from October to March is the length of time it took to fix up the house. And I did Christmas, one last Christmas in the house, New Year's. It was fun. It was so fun. We had so much fun, y'all. And I wasn't stuck on that house like that. Like, I wanted to keep my house, but I knew I couldn't afford it. But I just wanted God to show me what he was going to do for me, because I knew with what I was making and what I bring in, I'm like, God, I can't get what I really want. Like, what are you, like, it's all on you, Lord. And I don't want to be in a ghetto, and I don't want to have my kids in no roach infested place. And God said, trust me. I got you. I ain't never let you live like that. I'm not going to let you live like that now. But that was my biggest fear, y'all. So, time went on. They fixing up the house. My pastor, she fixing up the house. And when I say that house was immaculate, like, that house was immaculate. It had new everything. There was no way that house wasn't going to sell. And I was willing to stay in it so we wouldn't have a foreclosure on our record, and the HELOC loan, wouldn't go under. And just so we would be okay. And even for him, so he would be okay. Because I didn't want him to have a foreclosure on his record. You know what I'm saying? So I just went on and did what I needed to do. And As time went by, you know, it got more uncomfortable, more uncomfortable, more unbearable. I'm like, I gotta find a place. And we out here looking and looking and looking. And every place I found, somebody took it. Somebody got it. Or my credit wasn't good enough to get in it. Or because my credit was so bad. And I was waiting to get the 401k money so I could pay my stuff off. And then oh my God, it was just rough. It was rough for a good 3 to 4 months, y'all. It was the most uncomfortable I had ever been. And I had stopped talking to him as soon as he signed the papers for the 4. I ain't got money to pay for the lawyer. Well, you're going to have to do something because I need that 401k money and you're going to have to pay your half because I paid my half. My mama came through for me, y'all. She gave me money. I'm telling you, when I say people were put in place, people were put in place. And I was able to do everything I needed to do. And I told him in that October, if you cannot speak to me the right way and speak to me with respect and talk to me right, then we don't need to talk at all. And I didn't talk to him for months, like months, okay? Text, none of that. Like it was not none of that unless something was going on with the kids. And I didn't even need to do that because they old enough to talk to them himself. But his whole one thing is trying to go above me, around me with the kids. You still got to come through me because they live with me. They under my roof. I take care of them. You ain't doing nothing else. You ain't putting out no money. You get child support, and child support is to keep a roof over their head and clothes and food on the table and stuff. And you don't even give enough. I mean, God, anyway. So yeah. And to think you didn't have to do no more, you did more than that when you was the daddy living with us. You know, and so to think that you don't want to do nothing else, I'm broke, I ain't got it, I'm broke, I ain't got it, every time they ask them for something now. And it's crazy because you don't give enough money to not want to give anything else. It is ridiculous. But I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you some more. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Stay encouraged, y'all, because I'm telling you, it only gets better. It gets greater later, y'all. It do. It really do. I got more. I'll tell you more later. Thank you. Love y'all.